Hello and welcome to the first part of Materials for Starters. In this series of videos I'm gonna teach you how materials work, and you don't need any past experience because I'm gonna take you from zero. Okay, let's start. So, we are gonna start by moving to either Look Dev mode or viewport shading, how Blender calls it, or rendered mode. I prefer rendered mode because with an HDRI it looks way better, since viewport shading is kinda bad. We will be using Eevee because it is faster and I don't want to wait for the Cycles engine rendering. Let's start by going to the shading tab. Every one of you should have it when you open Blender, unless you make a change to your default file. Move again to the rendered view. We are in Look Dev right now. Okay. First of all, I have to tell you that what you see in the background is an HDRI. The shading part of Blender has two sides, world and object. In the object, we are editing the material that is put on a 3D set of mesh, and in the world we edit whatever is outside of it. We have an HDRI here. You can download some from hdriheaven.com for free and edit basically by Shift A, which also adds mesh in the viewport, and add an environment texture, which I did. Open your HDRI and plug it into the color. You don't have to do that. You probably have a default light in your scene already, but I'm just showing you what I'm using right now. This is the easy part. This is why I started with it. Okay, that's everything about world for now. We're back to the object. Currently our object is white, and not because we set it to be white, but because it misses textures. We can add one by either going here at the materials and clicking on new, or doing it here, doesn't really matter. And we see that it is called material 002, and we have the output, which is the door that passes the information from the node group to the screen. You can only have one of these, and it is very important. And you plug into it the information from nodes. In this case, the default is Principal BSDF. It is the best node for simple nodes, but is also used in more complex shaders. It is not hard. I will be covering the most important stuff. Usually you won't really bother with IOR, transmission, clear coat, sheen, anisotropic or specular. They are not that used. They don't make much of a difference, and I think I'm just gonna confuse you as a beginner. As a beginner, you will have to work with base color, metallic, roughness, and sometimes normals, which you can only input information into. So, also subsurface. So, let's start at color. It is very easy. You can either plug in color into the base color or change it here in whatever you want. You can input hex codes or edit RGB or HSV. This is not a hard part. Let's go ahead. This is metallic. Metallic can either be 0 or 1. Anything in between is kinda weird, doesn't really exist, because you either have an object which is metallic or not. So try to keep it either 1 or 0. Roughness. It determines how rough your object is. If it is 0, it is basically a mirror. and if it is 1, it means that it is so rough, it has spikes at a microscopic level going into every direction that doesn't allow light to reflect to make that shiny mirror surface. Okay, so here I have a lamp, my monitor, and a few objects to show you what subsurface is. If you look at this book, light can get past the surface. It means that the object is not transparent like glass, so all of the light would get past, but is semi-transparent. It is not rough enough, so everything gets past. It stops some light and it also passes some light past the paper. It also happens in objects like this comb, plastic. If we put the plastic in front, we can see that it glows, and if I pass my fingers in front, my fingers stop the light, and it can't get through the comb. Also, if I put my fingers anyway, my fingers are also have a subsurface color. It is red because of my blood. Everyone has this. So if you look at a pic with a sunset, ears of humans also glow a bit red, and also my fingers right now. What else do I have? A keycap puller. Here. You can also see that the edges of it glows a bit. A watch strap. Again, I can put my finger in front of it and block the light partially, and less light will get through the watch, so it won't glow as much. But if I take my fingers out, everything will go past. And at the end, wait, I have to open it. Okay, a knife. This knife doesn't let any light get past because it is metal. So never ever mix metal shader with subsurface. If you have metal, don't mix any subsurface with the material. Okay, so let's recap. The most important things are the color that you can change or plug into, color metallic, which makes it either non-metallic or metallic. Don't keep it in the middle, even if it looks cool. And roughness, that moves it from a scale of mirror to extremely rough that no light reflects. In the next episode, we will try to plug in some nodes and play with the principal BSDF.